So thanks for stopping by. I want to tell you all about my new webinar that I have going for LinkedIn marketing. One of the passions that I have is helping people make more money. And doing that with LinkedIn is a lot of fun for me. So let's get rolling. Probably asking yourself, who is this guy? Well, I'm Dick Kuiper. I'm a LinkedIn trainer and consultant, one of the several hats that I wear. I'm also an author, ghostwriter, freelance writer, and a marketing specialist. I come from a 40-year plus background in the corporate world, both across North America and internationally. I've been a corporate executive and an industry analyst and a business profit improvement expert. So I've helped a lot of my customers over the years increase their profitability by a number of different improvements in their business. Also took 5 years as a real estate entrepreneur and a sales and marketing professional. A lot of experience there. Public speaking, seminars, and webinars. It's what I do that I like the best. So anyway, today what I have to offer you is my LinkedIn marketing webinar. And that includes 3 hours of intensive training, either in one 3-hour session or two 90-minute sessions. The sessions are recorded for later viewing, so if you can't make it at the scheduled time, you can always look at it and listen to it at your leisure. I teach inbound marketing techniques, and I also teach targeted prospecting techniques to reach out to the people you don't already know, which is very, very powerful. Also included for any attendees is a free subscription to my update bulletins, which I issue 4 to 5 times a month for the latest things that LinkedIn has done to us or for us or whatever, to keep all my attendees up to date on what's going on, plus tips and techniques that me and my team discover through over time to help us all improve our marketing skills with LinkedIn. Also a 50% discount on my consulting services for LinkedIn. However, I've had very, very few of my attendees from my webinars who've actually needed any follow-on consulting. So I offer it if people need it, but generally they don't. So I'm going to go over my agenda, what I cover in the workshop. And first thing I talk about is what is LinkedIn all about. Some people understand it, some people don't, some people are in between. The first thing that I cover that's really important is drilling down for each attendee to get them to understand what's important to them. What do you want out of LinkedIn? Because there's so much there that you can do. A lot of strengths and weaknesses. I explain those, and the weaknesses, how to get around them. The strengths, how to really exploit those and make them work for you. Help you develop a profitable LinkedIn strategy, because there's so many moving parts to it, so many things you can do. You don't want to try to do them all, but you want to pick the ones that are going to do the most for you and prioritize your time investment, because even though with my techniques, you're not going to have to spend hardly any money on LinkedIn, no ads, none of that kind of stuff, sometimes not even premium memberships, but your time is very valuable, as we all know. Then I want to talk about the new LinkedIn. Microsoft bought LinkedIn about 18 months ago, and they made some changes and are continuing to make changes. So I want to explain those things to all of the people that have been on LinkedIn for a while and want to really know what has changed. And then figuring out which, if any, of the premium services offered by LinkedIn are really right for you. No need to pay the money for the premium services if you don't need them. A lot of the things that are offered in premium, you can work around it for free. Cover those. I also talk about general do's and don'ts, the rules of engagement of using LinkedIn. I teach people how to build a profile that really rocks, that draws attention to you and helps you gain credibility. Also, people don't understand they have a blog, and it's free with LinkedIn. I help people really understand that and to make the most of that blog, to get the word out about their goods and services. That blog is really the linchpin of inbound marketing. So I spend some time, a good amount of time, on teaching people the ins and outs of really using that blog to the fullest advantage. Developing a profitable LinkedIn strategy, I touched on that before. Definitely using that blog as part of that strategy Very, very important to use it the right way. And again, prioritizing that time investment. How much time should you put into developing blog posts for your LinkedIn blog? One of the big things that a lot of people don't even know how to utilize fully is their banner. You can create your own advertising billboard with proper use of that banner rather than using the generic one that LinkedIn gives us for free when we get started. So you can really make that thing hum with your own custom design. Very easy to do. LinkedIn has a lot of limitations to it, like a lot of things out there on the internet. I teach people how to get around those limitations. And it also has a lot of ambiguous rules and regulations. I try to teach people what those are, but nobody really knows all of them. And Microsoft isn't really telling us much about what those restrictions are. In a lot of cases, you don't know until you've done it. And then you get slapped on the wrist and say, don't do that. You've done too much of that, or things of that nature. LinkedIn has its own search engine, and a lot of people don't know about that. It works very similar to the search engines of like Google and Yahoo, and it gives you a ranking. Everybody, all of the 400 plus million people on LinkedIn are ranked according to their skills and whatever. It's very important that to get noticed on LinkedIn and outside of LinkedIn with LinkedIn's help, you really need to rank high on LinkedIn. So I teach people all the ins and outs of the ranking of LinkedIn. Very important to know. The experience section, which is another misunderstood part of LinkedIn. People think, well, that's my resume. Well, it's a lot more than that. It can be a very, very powerful tool if used properly. The media section is another one that hardly anybody really takes full advantage of, that media section. But you can incorporate videos with your profile. You can use embedded PowerPoint slides where you can actually give somebody a PowerPoint slide to click through that, and you use that as your marketing and advertising or whatever in your how-to kind of stuff right there on your profile. You can also put in PDFs where you have flyers and brochures, all that type of stuff online right on your LinkedIn profile if you know how to use it. Now, Microsoft kind of hid that media section, and I show how people can get the most out of it even though it's hidden, and how we as a group can continue to put pressure on Microsoft to make that section more visible like it used to be. So one of the big things I teach is inbound marketing, and that's getting prospects to contact you without you putting a lot of work into prospecting. Milking that profile you put up on LinkedIn for all it's worth. Maximizing your keyword selection and the placement of those keywords. Very, very important in the whole ranking thing, both inside LinkedIn and externally outside of LinkedIn. Cementing your credibility with the use of your profile. Highlighting your professionalism. Stepping up to the plate as the real expert in your field and getting recognized for that expertise. That leads me to outbound marketing, and this requires a little bit more work. Sometimes it may be more important to some people than others, but it's basically reaching out to unknown prospects, people you'd like to have as customers, but you don't yet know. And there's a way to do that, using targeted searches to find those viable prospects that are out there hiding in the weeds, to establish rapport with them right on LinkedIn, to earn their trust as part of what you do on LinkedIn, building that relationship that's so important leading up to actually getting the sale. Positioning yourself for consultative selling, and that is rather than just opening your sales bag, is actually being seen in their eyes as a consultant that's there to help them improve their business. I show you how to do that using the features of LinkedIn. Very powerful stuff. And you get all that stuff done, then and only then do you try to reach for the sale. Now, those 5 previous things can be done very quickly once you find a prospect. So it doesn't take you like a month to go and get through all that stuff to get up to the selling part. You get up to the selling part pretty quickly if you've done all that stuff and have it laid out in your foundation. And then getting referrals, whether you've made the sale or not. Because on LinkedIn, even if you don't make a sale to somebody, if you've done a real professional job in explaining what you do, provided things of value to prospective customers, even though they haven't bought what you have to offer. They still value your input, and therefore they may even refer people to you. I've had that happen a lot to me. So another thing about networking is that we all go to local networking events to build our network. The more people you know, the more opportunities you have for getting your name out there and selling your stuff. So LinkedIn is an electronic way to do that, and you can expand your network a lot more quickly and more efficiently doing it using LinkedIn and some other electronic methods. LinkedIn isn't the only one out there. But in my webinar, I show people how to do that. Even having your LinkedIn content picked up by other search engines like Google, Yahoo, those other guys out there, I teach that in my workshop, how to get that done, how to make that happen. And then recommendations and endorsements. This is another section, or two sections actually, of LinkedIn that people don't use very effectively on average. I teach them how to do that, how to reach out to people to give you recommendations, how to reach out to people to give you endorsements, because those recommendations, endorsements really improve your ranking, especially inside LinkedIn and even outside of LinkedIn because of your ranking. And you'll find that all in the materials that I have in my webinar. So another thing that I show people about in the webinar is LinkedIn's Pro Finder, which a lot of people don't know about. But it is a way of having LinkedIn send you qualified leads right from their Pro Finder group in their headquarters. Very, very powerful stuff. I get a lot of customers. I get 90% of my customers out of LinkedIn. And a lot of those come through Pro Finder. So they come looking for me. It's like magic. And then LinkedIn Help. This is a problem area, okay, because it's really tough, and it has been even before Microsoft bought them out. Trying to get tech support, customer service from LinkedIn has been really, really hard. I happen to find the hidden door at the back of the building, and I teach people in my webinar how to go and use that same entryway to get really good tech support. That's hard to do. LinkedIn groups is another thing that a lot of people don't use with LinkedIn, similar to the groups that you can set up on Facebook, except it's a lot more it's business oriented, not friends and family and kids and vacations and all that kind of stuff, but it's business. It's your opportunity to get yourself on stage in the business groups that are really going to benefit you by giving you more business opportunities. It's a way to get your name out there, get known as an expert, get known as a thought leader, if you will. Establishing yourself as an expert. It's easy to do with groups if you do it right, and I teach those techniques. It's a way to draw prospects and power partners into you through those groups. Incredibly powerful if you know how to use it. Another thing that LinkedIn has is their business page feature. This is one of the things that's free, totally free. Gives you a free billboard, free videos. It's a secondary page. It's another mini website that you have in addition to your personal page. It can be used as a landing page if you like. So it's a kind of a 2-for-1 sort of thing, or even 3-for-1 if you have a couple of different businesses where you can actually have your personal page side by side with that. You have your business page. So if your business brand is important to you to get that out to the public, it's also your branding credibility that you can establish through LinkedIn's business page, even more so than your personal page. And again, drawing prospects in and power partners, very powerful with the business page, just as it was with the groups that I just mentioned. So some things you have to ask yourself before I let you go or before you leave. Do you want a free marketing display billboard? And again, it's free. Do you want free advertising? Do you want a larger business network? Do you want more exposure? Who doesn't want those things? So if you have answered yes to one or more of those questions, then what you want to do is get your ticket now to one of my webinars. And you get 3 hours jam-packed full of information on how to get that done. The actual how-to instructions on how to help you do what I did, and that is get 90% of my new customers through LinkedIn. You can attend them live, or you can view the recorded sessions on your own schedule. They both work equally fine, and you can do them both. You can attend the live session and go back and review it with the recorded session. They stay out there in the cloud for 2 to 3 weeks. So get on your way to some higher income today. Sign up for one of my webinars. My contact information is right there. You find out more about it on my website. You can get the current schedule on my website, or send me an email or give me a call. It's up to you. Go for it. Thanks.